and thank you for joining me. In today's video, I have just a few little projects that I need to work on. I'm going to start with this dragon. This was a little mold that I received for Christmas. And what I want to do is I want to use the Galaxy Chameleon powder and brush that in, and then come back with some epoxy with black pigment in it to pour it, because I'm real curious as to how this is going to come out. Also, on the cat and dog paw molds, I want to mix that with copper. Now, I've never used this container of copper. There's no label. I'm assuming it's copper. What I have been using is this copper, and it's beautiful. That being said, it's almost empty, and I have a big project coming up that I do want to use copper on. So I want to go ahead and mix a little bit of that and just see how it compares to what I've been using. On this mold, I have two little teardrops that I want to pour, and I want to do that with the yellow mica, as well as one round that I want to pour clear. Add these little beads, and then once it cures up, finish it off with some copper. And this is for a future project. I just need these pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mix some resin up, and we'll get started. Or maybe let's go ahead and paint some powder on. Then I'll mix the resin. And this is very intricate. So I see a hair in there. Let me get that out. But if you look by the tail, it's just a little tiny swirl there. So what I'm going to do is I do have my handy dandy dotting tool. I may need to actually go in there with the dotting tool to get that hair to get the mica in there. We'll see. But let's go ahead and start by seeing if we can brush this. I think that if I can get it brushed right and not over pour it, that this one's going to look pretty cool. We'll see. There's a lot of nooks and crannies in this one, and yeah, I may have to come back in with my little dotting tool. Because it looks like I don't want to pour up over that. I really hope this one turns out well. I'm just brushing away. Let me get down in here, and here in a minute I'm going to switch over to the dotting tool and see if that works. I hope it does, because I don't have a smaller brush than this, I don't think. I want to make sure I get that down in there good. I want all the detail to show if possible. Let me stick some extra powder there, and let me see if I can use this end of the dotting tool. It looks like it's working. And once I get this in, I'll give you a show. A peek, see, so that you can see that it is in there. But yeah, right here by the tail, and right here, here, up here by, I guess, I don't know if they're horns or ears. I'm not real familiar with dragons. But all these little bitty nooks and crannies, I just really want them brushed well. Then maybe a little bit more right here. Let me use the paintbrush for that. Okay, I think I have it in there pretty well. Let me put a lid on this. Give it a little thump to get the excess out. And see if you can see that. So I am going to go ahead and get some resin mixed up and then meet you back here to start pouring. I have the resin mixed, and I think I am just going to start with putting some clear in this circle. And I think that's the circle I want to use. I want to use this one, I think. So I'm just going to start by just go ahead and getting that clear in there because it's just going to take a second. And I don't want to fill it all the way up because I want to save room for some copper. And if you catch me calling the copper bronze, you'll have to forgive me. I don't know why I keep reverting back to that. Now here is the yellow, and it's a real pretty yellow. And let me go ahead and get those poured. I think I'm going to save the dragon for last because it's going to be the most intricate. I do want to make sure I dome these without overflowing. All right. Maybe a little bit more in this one. I don't know why I felt the need to mix up so much. But I guess since I have it, maybe I pour the bigger rounds and maybe a heart. Or two. I guess I mixed up a lot of yellow. I don't know why I felt like I needed so much. But I can make some pretty necklaces out of these. And go ahead and do a circle over here. And that should take care of it. All right, that's that. The next thing I'm going to work on, let me move this black out of the way and grab the brass. I almost called it bronze again. And this brass does look like, it looks real pretty like the other. So I guess we'll see once it cures. I think for this, just so that I have a little more control, I'm going to pour it in here. That way I have a little bit more control when I'm working on the small dog paws and cats. Let me just stop right there. And I already decided if I mix too much bronze and black that I'm going to use those in these skull molds. Let me grab my little handy dandy popsicle stick. I'm going to need it. And let me move this out of the way. Move this over here. And see if we can get these poured without overflowing. A little at a time. Just a tiny bit in these. Because I'll come back in with the popsicle stick and do it one drop at a time if I need to. Because I do know these are hard to trim up if you over pour. They're not impossible, but they're difficult. Get a little bit here. little bit here. Now, let's go back in and see if we can't get them domed. Scooch that over to the ears. And that's where I'm just going to go in like a drop at a time. A little drop in here. I do like the way that these turn out. I can't wait to see the copper. All right, I need some more doming here. Here. Little bit there. And a little bit there. Look here. Just a little bit. And there. All right, let me scrape that back in there for now. Just so I don't spill it everywhere, hopefully. And I do see, and I don't know if I can, let me use my dotting tool, see if I can get in here and get that little piece off of the side of the mold. All right, I'm going to carefully scoot those over. And now for the dragon. And I definitely, again, I'm going to use a little cup so that I have a little more control. I definitely want to pour this slow because there's a lot of nooks and crannies in that. Let me stop right there. Get my stick ready because I may have to use it to control the flow. I just want to go ever so slowly on this one. Especially when I get down by the tail. When I get down by that little small spot in the tail, again, I'll probably use my dotting tool to try to make sure that the resin's in there. I really hope this one turns out. Let me scrape that and then I'll pour some more in my little cup. I've never used this mold, so I don't know what to expect. And I imagine if I use it more, and I did just receive it, if I use it more, then I will get better at measurements and how to pour and so forth and so on. Okay, ever so carefully and slowly. Try to get them in those little nooks. And give it time to do its stuff before I add more and more and more. I think I might want to go ahead and grab my dotting tool now. Set that out of the way. And I got to be careful because I don't want to scrape the mica either. I think I can pour some more. It is starting to flow through the tail. So let me carefully put a little bit there. A little there. I just want to be able to get it into all of those nooks and crannies. Without overflowing, of course. Let me grab this again. We have up here, and then there's a spot like right here. Here. And again, the tail. So let me see if I can carefully take my tool in there, kind of move the mold out of the way so that this will spread into the tail spot. It looks like it's trying to spread in there, but I just need to make sure that there's plenty in there. And I don't want to overflow, simply because, again, you'll have all those little Humpty Doos to work with. Let me clean that off. All right, let me put a little bit more. And it looks like we need just a little bit more here. And then I'll see if it looks domed, because I had to help some of that up into those nooks and crannies. Like up in here. Well, it looks domed like right here. And maybe right here. But it looks like in the center I could use a little bit more. So let me go slow. Add a little bit. And then I need to stop and let it do its thing and see what we've got. But yeah, down here by the feet, it looks like it needs a little bit more. Okay. Well, I think that that's pretty good. I'm still kind of concerned by this little area right here. And it looks like this goes literally up like that. I guess we'll see. I hope a couple of things is that it does go only where it's supposed to and not where it's not supposed to, and that there's no bubbles. All right, so that's that. And let me move this out of the way carefully. Well, now let's work on these, because I mixed extra just because I wanted to make sure I had enough. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to do clear. These are the little skull molds. I'm going to do clear. I think I'm going to do clear, brass, not brass, copper, and black. I think that's how I'm going to do it. And just kind of layer those in there like that. There's some clear. And just continue to layer until they're full, which, I mean, these are small, so it doesn't take much. Then brass. Let me pour it in these little cups. These little cups are handy. Okay. Some brass. Trying to kind of get it centered in there. Put a little more black in this cup. These little cups really are handy for smaller projects. Now let's pour some black. And I will finish it off with the clear once I'm done layering. Set the black there. Let's do clear again. Brass. Not brass, copper. Why do I call it brass every time? I have no idea. I don't know if there's a difference, but apparently so, or they wouldn't have two different names. Black. I'm going to put a little more brass. I don't know. It looks like it could, I think it can hold still another layer. So let me put the rest of this black in here. Same with the brass, copper. And we have the clear over here. So one more time, clear. And I do want to finish it off with clear. Brass, copper. Black. Whoops. And clear. Just want to dome it. I don't want it to overflow. Looks like that one has a little more room. Make sure. Oh yeah. Now let me set that down. Get some sticky off my hand. See a bubble right here. And let me see if I can kind of clean off the tops with, oh, you know what I forgot to do? You really are supposed to be doing some squishy before you fill these all the way up, because if you don't do the little squeezes, they have a tendency of getting bubbles by the cheekbones. Now I look like, this looks like it used some more. But before I do that, let me see if I can clean this off a little bit without making a huge mess. So I hope those thumpity thumps help, because I sure did. I forgot to squeeze it a little bit before I filled it all the way up. And this one needs a little bit more. Let me check the other one after I thumped it. I think that it's good. All right, so I guess just as usual, we'll have to wait 24 hours before we can unmold. I'm really curious about the dragon. All right, I will let you go, and I will see you in 24 hours, and we'll see what we've got. So it has been just shy of 24 hours. We're about at 21. So let's go ahead and do some unmolding. Now, before I do that, I wanted to point out on the little round that I said I was going to put these beads in. I almost forgot to do that, but I did remember to do it. And these beads are actually, I call them beads. They're little metal balls. They kind of look like BBs, only smaller. And I'm not too sure what they are. I was given these, oh, I don't know, a few years ago to use in my crafts, and I just found something to craft with, to use them in. So I'm going to show you this one with the beads. Now, I don't want to unmold that one today because I still want to put a copper layer on top of it. Also, if you'll notice, I have a couple of hearts here, and that was scraping the copper and the black cups and the clear. And so I layered those just like I did the skulls. So let's go ahead and pop these out. And the yellow ones are just yellow. But it's a pretty yellow, and I actually need to use these in an upcoming project. So let me see if I can get the yellow ones popped out without disturbing the ones with the beads. And here are the hearts. I think those will make pretty necklaces or earrings. So let's look at the hearts that's got the copper, black, and clear. Oh, those really turned out pretty. Let me see if I can put that up to where you can see it. I think those are really pretty. They kind of look like clouds or water ripples. All right, let me set those aside. And this one I will pour when I use bronze again, and I do have an upcoming project to do that with. But until then, I just kind of tuck it away, hide it, if you will, out of the way. And then hope I remember it when I'm getting ready to do that project so that I can pour a little on there. Whoops, I dropped a little cat. Let me pop these out. These are real easy to pop out. And that's the copper. It's a little bit darker, I think, than the other copper I was using, but it's still pretty. The back side really does look cool too. So let me set those out of the way. Go ahead and do the skulls and see how they turned out by just mixing those colors, the copper, the black, and the clear. See if I can pop it out without throwing it. Or breaking another nail. So there's one, and it looks like there's just a teeny tiny bubble right there, bubble pit, but not bad. You have to look hard to really notice it. And let's pop out the other one. And there's that one. And I don't see any bubble pits in that, so that's good. I do think those look kind of cool. I don't know what my sudden obsession is with these little molds, but I do like them. All right, now for the real test. This is the one that I hope turns out well. So I've never used the mold. I don't know how hard it is going to be to unmold it, so I'm going to try and take it careful and hope for good results and no bubbles. Okay, there we go. That wasn't too bad. Are we ready? Wow, that does look better than I expected. Can you see all the details on that? Let me see if I can just hold it up like that. I don't know if you can see all the details. But yeah, that turned out a lot better. And I guess that these are, I don't know if they're ears or horns still. I don't know. That might look pretty good, like in a trinket tray or something. I don't know. But yeah, overall, I like the way that turned out. And I may go ahead and try to pour some more of these and see what I can do with them. All right, well that's all the unmolding for now. Let me know what you think about the dragon or any of the pieces. And what would you use a small dragon like that for? Because it is thin. Let me know in the comments below. I do want to thank you for watching. And please consider hitting the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And I will see you next time. Thank you again.